We're John and Cora Miller, and I was born in Nicaragua, Central America, and grew up in Guatemala till high school and had high school in Michigan.
And I'm John, and I'm from Pennsylvania.
I grew up on the mission field. It was an inborn thing. I don't know that I would say that I ever had a strong calling, except that I knew that God called us wherever we were to be.
And I was at a summer camp in northern Pennsylvania in the summer of 1956. And there was a missionary there speaking, and he told us about an amazing experience that occurred in Ecuador earlier in that year, where 5 missionaries were martyred and killed for the gospel of Christ. And he said one of them was a pilot with Mission Aviation Fellowship. And how many of you guys in camp would like to go out as a pilot with MAF? And of course, I put my hand up. Our first location, our only location, has been the country of Indonesia. And we were on the west half of the island of New Guinea. When we got there, it was called Irian Jaya or Irian Barat, and then it was called Papua, Indonesia.
West Irian, too.
West Irian, yes.
I started out mostly with hospitality and flight following him, in other words, recording where he was and where he was taking off from and how many people he had on board and all that. At least 2/3 of my time out there I was involved in finance. And then hospitality was a big deal. As time grew on, I was less involved in hospitality and less involved in flight following, because the flight following was being taken over by Indonesians. And so then I was a piano teacher, an ESL teacher, and a hairdresser.
Well, for me, it was pretty simple. As a pilot mechanic, flying and fixing aircraft, both fixed wing and rotary wing, which helicopter. So I'd have a flight day of maybe anywhere from 6 to 12 or 15 stops, where I was picking up passengers and moving cargo and things like that. And often during a flight day, this is with a fixed wing, a wheelplane, airplane, like we see in the background back here. So I would do this like 5 days a week, and sometimes we'd have carryover on Saturday. We rarely flew on Sundays unless it was an emergency. On the rotary wing or the helicopter program, I'd go out for a week at a time back to the bush and help the missionaries reach real remote locations.
Well, it was hard for me to leave the kids or people that I had grown to get very attached to, the Indonesian people. We had the youth group over about every 2 or 3 weeks to our place and had pizza or something different for them. We did stuff with their singing group at the church. I had, several times a day with Indonesian classes, English classes. So I was very much entrenched with the Indonesians when we left. And to have left them was almost as hard as sending my kids away to school.
We're not disappointed in the opportunities that we had. It was terrific. It was wonderful. And I don't really miss the flying as such, flying per se. What I do miss is the people that I flew, and to see that the work that the airplane could do to spread the gospel. It was just spectacular to see how many hundreds of thousands of people came to Christ because of the ministry of an airplane carrying a translator, carrying an evangelist, that without that airplane, they would have never been reached.
I would do it again. And when I see the inputs that others had in my kids' lives, I think I would take my kids with me to the mission field again.
Absolutely. I think kids could be challenged with all the opportunities that are available in missions today. When people think of missionaries, they think of somebody going out there planning a church or doing translation, but just about any profession that you can name, unless you're a bomb builder or a terrorist, nearly anything else you can name is being used in missions today. And if you have a specific interest in something, either technical or educational or spiritual or whatever, there's a place for you in missions.
you.